Hey guys, this is actually the first video review for fragboss.com, and today I was fortunate enough to get the SteelSeries Kinzu V2 Pro Edition. And not only fortunate enough for one, but I also got two. So, unfortunately I don't have the red one to show you, so I can't show you what that one looks like in real life, but you do see the silver and the black. Let me move the box away so I can show you both mice here. Alright, let me alt-tab from in-game because it's bugging me out. Alright, so you can see that we have the Kinzu V2 Pro Black, Kinzu V2 Pro Silver. Aside from the color, there's absolutely no difference between the two. Let me go over the physical design real quick, and we'll go over internals, and then we'll compare the mice. Alright, and then we will go into a little bit of performance tests. So for this, I'm going to pull away this mouse real quick. Alright, so on the external design of the Kinzu V2 Pro, you get a glossy finish with sides that are matte rubber, very much like the SteelSeries I or SteelSeries Kinzu V1. You also, on the bottom, you get a really nice Teflon mouse feet. These are actually really Teflon. They're not like plastic and Teflon hybrid. They're just straight Teflon. They're really nice. They glide really, really well on cloth or hard mouse pads. You also get the same CPI toggle button that you did on the Kinzu V1, and it's the exact same mouse weight on the Kinzu V1. So you do get a little bit of play, and I don't know if you can hear that in the video, but there is a little bit of play in the mouse wheel. So that's basically the external. Now internal, you get a new sensor, and with new sensor you get a couple more options to choose from. Basically, you get CPI or DPI steps from 400, 800, 1600, and 3200. You get polling rate options from 125, 250, 500, and 1000 hertz. All this is adjustable in the SteelSeries engine. It's not adjustable in the mouse. So you have to plug it in, do the software, update the firmware, and I do suggest updating the firmware. But aside from that, let me get out three different mice so we can physically compare the three. Alright, I'm going to pull out a SteelSeries Sensei, a SteelSeries Kana, and we're going to keep the Kinzu V2 for obvious reasons. So here we go. You have the three main mice that SteelSeries are pushing right now. So you have the Kana on the left, the Sensei in the middle, and you have the SteelSeries Kinzu V2 Pro on the right. Alright, so let's go ahead and compare it to the Kana, which is the newest mouse aside from the Kinzu V2. So here you can see that the Kinzu is a little bit shorter. Alright. It's actually the same width as the Kana, which is nice. The Kinzu has no side buttons, whereas the Kana has one. The Kana comes in two colors, whereas the Kinzu V2 Pro comes in three. And if you count, the Kinzu V2 comes in like 14,000 different colors. So you get a little more appearance to the Kinzu V2, whereas there's just two with this guy. You get the same braided cable basically. This one's a little nicer looking, you can see here, whereas this one's just plain. So now let's compare it to the Sensei. Alright, the flagship mouse from SteelSeries. So you can see that it's quite a bit longer, and some people might like that, some people might not. It's a little wider, not much, but it's a little wider. On the side, you get the biggest difference, in my opinion, is you get two side buttons on the Sensei, and on each side there's two sides, so you get 4 side buttons total, right? And this is the Fanatic edition, so there's only 2 versions of the Sensei. You get the Fanatic Sensei, and you get the regular Sensei, which uses a gloss top. So we're going to move these mice out of the way. Go back to the Kinzu, And I also have a Kinzu version 1. So aside from color and texture material, they're the same exact mouse. Besides that, you get the I don't want to call them Teflon. You get the plastic mouse feet on the Kinzu V1. You get the TTC switches on the Kinzu V1, whereas you get Omron switches on the Kinzu V2, which many people will agree that they are the better quote-unquote switches. They last longer. You can't really dispute that because they do. But they're a little softer to press, and they're a little more tactile. It's the feel that you get from them. So we're going to move the Kinzu out of the way. Alright, let's go into some of the findings that I had for performance. So basically there's a new PixArt sensor. It's the same sensor that's found in the Kana. It's a little lesser variant of it though. So it's going to have a little bit less of performance. And from what I noticed when I ran the Anotis mouse tests, you get about 247 meters per second malfunction speed, which is about 97.24 inches. So anything past 97 or so inches per second, you're not going to be able to track. But that's the malfunction speed. I would say perfect control is somewhere around 60 to 70 inches per second, which is well within the specification that SteelSeries has. So I do give them credit for actually listing a real number as opposed to some fake number that they pulled from somewhere else. So we're going to let that be before I go into too much detail. Alright, so here I'm going to bring you into game right now, and I'm going to show you a couple of the issues that I have with the Kinzu V2 Pro. So basically I'll show you positive acceleration or negative acceleration. So I'm going to start from one side of the mouse pad, go slowly until I reach the other side. Alright, so you can see it's about right there. Now I'm going to go a little bit faster. I can't go too much faster, and I'll show you why in a second. So we can see that it landed pretty close, although I went a little bit off to the mouse pad, so we'll go one more time. So we can see that the first one was there, second one was there, third one was there. So they're all well within about a couple inches of each other. Nothing too big to worry about. But here's where I have a huge issue with this mouse, because it can seriously make you screw up, for lack of a better word to say. And that is something that should not have been overlooked from SteelSeries' part. So you saw the mouse pad that I was using, which is a Navi edition. It's multicolored. A lot of people use it. A lot of people use the Fanatic pad, Evil Genius's pad, Tai Lu, etc. A lot of people use these mouse pads. With the Kinzu V2 Pro, you really can't, because this is what happens when you swipe too fast. So, and I'm not even really like swiping fast. Now I'm not swiping at all. I just let it do its malfunction thing. So I'm not even swiping at all fast. Now I will show you what happens when you use a single color mouse pad. And I'll show you what mouse pad I'm using. I'm using the Razer Megasoma, which is not even a normal mouse pad. So if this were a plain black cloth mouse pad, which I unfortunately don't have at this time, so this is the only mouse pad I have to test. So you'll see a plain colored mouse pad, and you'll see me move fast and not have that glitch. So it's an issue with the mouse sensor. The firmware was supposed to fix that, or at least alleviate some of the issues that I had with it. It didn't though. So I have an issue with this mouse. I still love it to death, and it's still my primary mouse. I just have to keep in the back of my head not to move too fast, or else I will shoot at the sky or the ground and spin in circles really fast. But if you like that kind of thing, this is the perfect mouse for you. So I would not recommend this mouse, basically, to any kind of FPS player that plays on a medium or low sensitivity. I would only recommend this mouse for someone who plays on a high sensitivity, or RTS players, because most RTS players play with their wrists, so they don't ever reach the malfunction speed. So you don't have to worry about that if you play RTS. And plus the on-on switches make it really nice for multiple clicks. It's really nice for that. So it's really good for tapping too, for like in-game FPSs. But unfortunately, yeah, most people play with like a medium sensitivity, so can't really recommend it for those people. But it is my mouse. I will not change from a Kinzu for until I die of playing video games for too much, because I play it too much. So I mean I use it personally, but I can't recommend it. So basically, if you don't mind that flaw, this mouse is phenomenal. The Teflon mouse feet make it really nice for glide. The Omron switches are really nice for clicky. And you get the glossy finish, which some people like. It personally makes my hands sweat a little more. I don't mind it, but it's still, again, my favorite mouse that SteelSeries has ever made. And again, it's probably the mouse with the most defects. I guess I just like broken things. So, again, I would like to thank SteelSeries for sending this mouse. You can check out the full text review, which goes a little more in depth, at fragboss.com. And make sure you check out the other videos that I have. And also make sure you check out the Kana video if you're looking at comparing the two mice. Because I have a full video just like this one on the Kana. But thank you guys for watching this video. And make sure you check out all the other stuff that I have. Thanks.